Dependable and reliable beyond reproach, the Toyota Tacoma stands out as the best-selling and most beloved midsize pickup in the US for a reason. Although the recent generational overhaul is aimed at retaining Tacoma's status as the go-to pickup truck in its segment, the Japanese automaker may have introduced one too many modifications to otherwise steadfast outgoing models. While most of what was done received acclaim, we found 4 reasons that could damage the 2024 Toyota Tacoma's reliability standards going forward, at least until proven otherwise. Let's not waste any time and let's get to it. Number 4. New turbocharged powertrains. The Toyota Tacoma typically relied on reliable and practically bulletproof engines throughout recent decades, and to see a couple of them go after years of service is bittersweet at the very least. Both the indestructible 2.7-liter 4-cylinder and the stalwart 3.5-liter V6 were replaced by contemporary 2.4-liter Turbo 4s in more conventional and hybrid guises, respectively, marking the end of an era of sorts for the beloved truck. While the switch to turbocharged engines was imminent and long overdue, for that matter, there are still a couple concerns pending explanation. Mainly, how will the new powertrains perform in the real world, and how durable will they prove to be? The new forced induction lineup of engines is much more complex than the outgoing naturally aspirated 4 and 6 cylinders, as they feature an increased number of moving parts to go alongside the extra boost and a smaller displacement, especially in the case of the more powerful hybrid variation. Although the same engine already powers that extensive lineup of Toyota and Lexus models, none of them is as heavy and robust as the Tacoma, and it'll be interesting to see how the 4-banger handles towing, hauling, and extreme off-roading situations. Even more so since the extreme off-roading will be reserved for the hybrid version of the engine, as the Trailhunter and TRD Pro models have to be ordered with the iForce Max engine. Judging by the issues exhibited in the new Toyota Highlander, which suffers from an extremely moody Turbo 4 activity, the Tacoma launch might not be as smooth as we're accustomed to. Lots of turbo lag and generally hesitant acceleration in the new Highlanders might await the 2024 Toyota Tacoma owners as well, and those upgrading, or in this case downgrading, from the silky smooth V6 throttle response of the generation past will definitely be able to tell the difference. Acknowledging Toyota's reliability reputation, however, we wouldn't expect the issue to remain unsolved for long. There's still hope that the Japanese company's engineers might have already addressed the issue, and it won't even manifest itself once the new Tacomas hit the dealerships. Let's hope that's the case. At least the outgoing model's transmission modes should be a thing of the past, as the new 8-speed automatics and optional 6-speed manuals promise to improve upon the old notorious gear-hunting 6-speed autos. Number 3. Contemporary suspension. Not to sound grumpy, but not all aspects of a contemporary setup always represent a 100% positive change. Take the all-new Tacoma's 5-link suspension with coil springs, for instance. While it improves the comfort of the 2024 Tacoma by a country mile and provides a positive impact on its handling in the process as well, it's more expensive to maintain and repair, alongside being more prone to breakdowns. In other words, while the archaic leaf springs might break your kidney stones, they're still the way to go for those in need of a proven no-nonsense work truck, especially in situations that include a lot of heavy cargo hauling over not-so-smooth roads. Toyota didn't overlook such consumers and decided to retain the leaf spring rear suspension setup on certain models, or especially on lower grade SR, SR5, and TRD pre-runner models. While Toyota decided to limit these lower tier models in terms of available engine and transmission configurations, at least they decided to provide an automatic limited slip rear differential across the range. In conclusion, while those willing to spend more in search of superior comfort and off-roading experience, which are becoming increasingly sought after among modern truck owners, will be able to get them thanks to an all-new rear suspension setup, those in need of a work truck will probably be glad they're getting the old-fashioned leaf springs to help them lower the initial cost, as well as the cost of ownership over the years. Not to mention the potentially more serious issues which everyone hopes won't take hold in the new Taco. Number 2. More tech, more potential headaches. It's inevitable for the next-gen models, which the 2024 Toyota Tacoma is, to boast more advanced tech features than the models they're replacing. Needless to say, the new Tacoma is no exception, but not everything is hunky-dory in such cases, as more features and different sensors and chips mean more potential headaches if they start to fail somewhere down the line. The all-new infotainment system, for instance, utilizes a larger 14-inch touchscreen display in the highest trim levels, a unit that's already come under scrutiny from some Tundra owners who had the first pick of the new display. While it's an upgrade over the smaller outgoing units in general, first-time technology typically comes with more or less annoying glitches that need ironing out within the first year or two. For instance, using Siri and voice commands in general will render the volume control immutable for the duration, which could be annoying if the radio is turned on at the same time. There are plenty of relatively easy software fixes like that required before the new infotainment experience in the Tacoma becomes as intended in the first place. The same could be said about numerous camera sensors, especially in off-road and towing-focused models. The various camera modes could interfere with one another, leading to annoying or even potentially serious issues. An example of the latter is last year's recall, where a rear-view camera was showing an image from the front of the vehicle even while backing up. Given how Toyota has had plenty of time to address a number of such issues on the larger Tundra over the course of last year or so, we'd expect the new Tacoma to offer much smoother sailing. As is typically the case, however, some problems might have fallen through the cracks, and the proud new Tacoma owners will be the ones to point them out in no time. Number 1. Off-road models largely unchanged despite different claims from Toyota. Despite upgrading some critical components such as the rear suspension and brakes, the firewall of the next-gen Tacoma remains largely unchanged. Toyota states they offer a wider track and a deeper wheel offset alongside a disconnectable sway bar, which should be a game-changer in terms of off-roading potential. Emphasis on should be, as Toyota achieves that added track width by utilizing the wheel offset and fender flares instead of using longer lower control arms, meaning no actual suspension improvements over the previous generation. Toyota's competitors, Chevrolet and Ford, do things differently in their off-road specialists. The Colorado ZR2 and Ranger Raptor, helping them achieve around 10 inches of front suspension travel. Toyota, meanwhile, achieves nothing of sorts with the new Tacoma, missing an opportunity to catch up with its key rivals and severely limiting the current generation Tacoma's off-roading potential from the get-go. Toyota's decision to not offer the frontal locking differential is also a strange one when both the ZR2 and Ranger Raptor feature one. According to the Tacoma's lead engineer Sheldon Brown, they had to prioritize one project over the other, and between the disconnectable sway bar and the front locking differential, the latter got the shorter end of the stick. At least Toyota has intelligently spent resources on another project that could come in handy while off-roading on the TRD Pro models, right? The all-new isodynamic seats feature 1.5 inches of suspension travel on their own, 1.5 inches of travel that could have been used to reach the 10-inch travel of the truck's own suspension, just like the ZR2 and Ranger Raptor. Or time and money that could have been spent on another actual off-road enhancing feature like the mentioned frontal locker. The company has also missed an opportunity to provide more meaningful rear suspension travel by positioning the shock tower low to the ground and still leaving plenty of unused space between it and the truck's bed. Those looking to unlock the true off-roading potential of the new Tacoma will be left perusing the aftermarket, even though Toyota could have provided that opportunity at virtually no cost to the company. Oh yeah, and the rear end hitch is welded to the frame, severely limiting even the aftermarket off-road potential. Not everything is as grim as it looks, however, as the disconnectable sway bar might just prove to be the game-changer Toyota needed. Thanks to its architecture in which the sway bar is moved behind the front suspension, aftermarket enthusiasts can now finally retain their sway bars even when upgrading the rest of the suspension, retaining much better and safer handling while receiving all the benefits of a long suspension upgrade, something they were forced to cede in favor of the latter previously. Anyway, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.